What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. Hope everyone had a good weekend and is back and rested as I am. We got a lot to cover in today's episode, including the positive price action, what I feel is behind it, and why I feel the bottom is specifically in for Bitcoin. Also, Ethereum, what's going on there? Why are they pumping big time? And more updates on 3 Arrows Capital, Kwon, John McAfee, and WeWork founder Adam Neumann and his new crypto project. So don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button. Follow me on Twitter at BenCryptoShow. Also this week, we got some other good content coming up here. I'll be doing a conversation with the D Hotels founders later in the week, get some updates on their project. I'm really excited about that. I'll also be doing a separate altcoin review of a DeFi project, a separate project. That'll be this week as well. Got a lot of good things coming on this channel. This week specifically, stay tuned. Things are going in the right direction. Let's get into the markets. Let's begin. So yeah, some positive price action here. Bitcoin passed 22,000. Ethereum is at 1,500 right now, 1,480 about an hour ago on this sheet here. We did not have the weekend dip as we usually do. A very slight dip early Sunday, then it rebounded, and then Monday morning Europe time, prices just skyrocketed. Here's the Bitcoin weekly curve, the 7-day curve. This is looking pretty damn good here. This dip here obviously was last week during the CPI release. Just a little bit of a dip, and it's been on a steady uptrend ever since then, the last 5 days. This here looks like some shorts were liquidated right there. That's always a good sign. So yeah, this is just a very, very healthy curve here. Ethereum, 1504. Remember, tons of people were predicting Ethereum was going to bottom out at 500, 600, 700s. It is just skyrocketing big time. Pretty much all the altcoins are up. Smart contract platforms, that basically means all the blockchain coins, they're up big time, 9%. What else? Move to earn, that sector's up 15% today. Farming, that's up 7%. Metaverse up 8%. Liquid staking, ETH 2.0 staking up 10%. It's a lot of DeFi, a lot of DAO-related coins are up. Meta governance, that's up 12%. That's the DAO-related coins there. So yeah, the markets are looking very, very healthy, particularly on the altcoin front. And so why, I started the episode, I said that I believe that the bottom is in, which I firmly do. It's a bunch of reasons why. Most importantly, the stronger than expected bounce off the CPI data last week. That was released on Wednesday. It dipped slightly, but the prices rebounded quicker and much more positively upwards than they have off the CPI data released the last few months. So that was very positive. Also, BTC funding rates suddenly turned positive last week for the first time in a while. I'll get into that a little later. The greed and fear has been trending up the last few weeks. I'll get into that more later. And then a general uptick in altcoin activity lately, specifically in the last week. I just noticed increased buzz around there. Obviously, when the prices go down, when Bitcoin goes down, no one's talking about altcoins because altcoins go down even more. But the markets are flat or going up, then everyone's buzzing about altcoins. So after a month or two of very little altcoin talk, the buzz really picked up last week. So for all these reasons, also, the contagion, that's kind of getting beyond us. The 3 Arrows Capital, the Voyager, the BlockFi, the Celsius, that was the big news of the last month and a half or so. Terra included as well. That was 2 months. As every day goes by, that's just becoming less and less of a subconscious concern in investors' minds. Also, there's just kind of less talk in general about where the bottom is at. Obviously, on the counterexample, I talk about that a lot, but, the last few weeks, a month ago, it was all, the market's going to nuke more, what's the bottom at? So that got me kind of worried, but then the last week or so, I noticed that talk has kind of dissipated, meaning stress has just been relieved from the markets. So that's another reason why I think the bottom is behind us. The big one, there's got to be a specific catalyst for the bottom to be behind us. I believe that it's the stronger bounce than expected off the CPI data. That data is released about every 6-7 weeks consistently. The market just reacted much stronger after that. So that is the main reason right there. And as for the funding rates, as I said, I would go into further. So the BTC funding rates, these are, if that works. Yeah, it's basically what this is when there's an equal amount of longs in the market as leveraged shorts in the market at any given time, but sometimes one side will have to sort of incentivize the other side to engage in the trade. So the funding rate was negative for the longest time, the last 2 months. So that meant that there were more shorts in the market. So the shorts were paying a premium to the longs to get the longs to get into a trade that they might not otherwise get into. But for the first time in a while, weeks, if not months, the funding rate just last week, in the last few days, actually just turned positive, meaning now there's more demand for the long trades, for the leveraged long trades. So the longs have to pay a premium to the shorts to get the shorts to engage in the other side of the trade. So this headline is kind of phrasing as more negatively, a long squeeze in the making. I just kind of look at it as a sentiment indicator, how we had a month of negative premium, negative funding rates. Now it's positive. Just in line with all the other indicators like greed and fear. We've been going over this a bunch now. So this is the greed and fear for 3 months. The 3-month chart, see, was trending down. The 2 months ago, 3 months ago, and 2 months ago. But then the last month, it's been pretty consistently trending up right there. We were at, it's at 20 today. It was at 24 the day before. It was at 24 the day before that. And so I think even though it went down today, that did not take into account the price increase from earlier today, because the greed and fear came out about 12 hours ago. So I would expect the greed and fear to be way up tomorrow, taking into account today's price pump. I think it might go to 25, 26, 27. So all these put together just showed sort of general sentiment changing. And why is that important? Because it means that the chance of the panic sellers are just panicking less. There's just less of a chance of people reading the headlines, getting nervous, and then just randomly dumping and panic selling coins, which then causes long liquidations, which then brings the prices down further. So the markets are basically just calmer right now, and the sentiment is improving. Let's get into Ethereum. So Ethereum has just been up huge. They're at 1,500 right now. So what is it? So last week they announced that there is a specific day for the merge. So the merge, I mean, honestly, I don't even really know all the technical details, but that's when they're going from proof of work to proof of stake. And they announced last week there's a date for that, September 19th. So previously people were kind of worried these things always sort of get put on the back burner, they get shelved, get delayed. It's the fact they actually put out a date, and it's a project like Ethereum that isn't really going to miss deadlines. That was positive, so that's pretty much the main reason for Ethereum just going through the roof lately. I guess the merge, it's going to decrease energy costs, it's going to decrease energy use, fees will be less. It is an inflationary coin. It will result in a 90% reduction in Ethereum's annual issuance. So this is a big deal. There's a lot of stuff here. The fact it's finally happening in about 2 months, that is huge. So probably when that happens, September 19th, it will be priced in, meaning the price would have already skyrocketed previously in anticipation of the merge happening. So by the time September 19th happens, it's probably not going to go up anymore because everyone already predicted that the price was going to go up. So it'll be, factored in. We call that the price sort of, already taken into account in the direction that people think the trades are going to go. Let's move on here. So again, there's one last hurdle we have to clear. That's in 8 days. Next Tuesday, that's the interest rate hike. So this past week, that was the inflation numbers. And then always 2 weeks after that, we get, okay, so based on the inflation numbers, what's the interest rate increase going to be versus last year? So now people are predicting 1%, 100 basis points. Before the CPI release, it was 75 basis points prediction. Now people are predicting 100 basis points. So I don't really think that this is going to have too much of an effect on the price. On the markets, it has in previous years, but the fact that the CPI the market kind of blew past the CPI data, I think this sort of stuff is just sending less and less jitters into the market. But be aware, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, you'll start to see the headlines. Fed raising interest rate increases at a record high, interest rate increases at much higher than expected numbers. Just be prepared, you're going to be seeing those headlines again. Just, be calm about it. Don't let the media sort of play into your panic selling or anything like that. We handled it correctly last week. This week it'll be the same thing. And if we can get through that, since the interest rate hike is on a Tuesday, and we usually have a Tuesday pump, if we get to next Tuesday, the 26th, without much of a dip, then the fact that the interest rate announcement being over, combined with there being a general Tuesday pump, I think prices are just going to fly up next Tuesday afternoon, carry through the entire rest of the week and rest of the month. So we're looking pretty good here. We're looking pretty good, in my opinion. To poll today, should there be a Golden Razzie Award in crypto for the worst price predictions of the year? It's just kind of a playful spin off Ethereum. This was the one coin people were just bottom predicting it to be like 500, 600, 700s. It got down to 1,000. It did on one day, peaked down to 900, then it immediately reversed back up to 1,000. So the 1,000 level for Ethereum was the equivalent of 20,000 per BTC. You know, obviously anything's possible in crypto, but I do believe the bottom is beyond us. But yeah, overwhelmingly, people believe, yes, there should be an annual Crypto Razzie Award for the worst price prediction of the year. And, well, tons of fun. Could be a riot. Moving on. That's price action for the day. 3 Arrows Capital co-founder files $5 million claim against own firm while on the run. So this, I guess, on June 30th, it was just discovered today, but on June 30th, Suzu, he, in the list of creditors, he somehow managed to kind of squeeze his own name in there as being due $5 million as part of the liquidation process. No one's quite sure how that is possible. Obviously, no one's particularly impressed with this. You combine this with the fact that he and Kyle Davies obviously also forgot to redeem the Starkworth tokens, whatever they're called, last week. Combined with Suzu also allegedly trying to sell his house for $35 million in a quick flash sale and take the funds into his own bank account. You know, all the stuff together just doesn't really bode well for the 3AC founders, particularly Suzu. They are supposed to have a meeting with creditors later today. No one's quite sure if they will show up this time or not, but tomorrow's episode, I will let everyone know how that meeting went, if it indeed did go on. Now, if there's one person who's kind of actually unintentionally benefited from 3 Arrows Capital getting most of the negative attention lately, excuse me, it's Kwon. He, all the hate was piled on him 2 months ago, obviously. Now, the majority of the headlines are negatively about 3 Arrows Capital, because Kwon's project was nuked. 3 Arrows Capital, it was just bad trades on their parts. There was more fault directly on those owners. Obviously, everyone has their own fault to a certain extent, but there was no attack on 3 Arrows Capital. There seemed to be more sort of excess kind of lavish spending on the 3 Arrows Capital part, and most importantly, just the 3 Arrows Capital part also big time affected. It was the contagion issue affected Voyager, BlockFi, Celsius. They all basically guilty of just not really diversifying themselves enough. They got hit very hard with the 3 Arrows Capital. So yeah, Kwon is kind of unintentionally benefiting him. Yeah, and I said Friday he put up this tweet here, his first tweet in like a month, just a picture of like an explosion-looking thing. A lot of people thought it referred to a Terra burn coming up, a Terra Classic burn, but there really hasn't been any big Terra Classic burns. There was a Terra Classic burn a few days ago after he put up this burn picture here, but it only amounted to $100 USD equivalent of Terra Classic tokens. So even though there were tweets about it, it was a very minor burn, just $100 total. So yeah, even though people think this thing here refers to burning, no, it refers to the project being intentionally nuked, in my opinion. That is definitely the meaning of Kwon's tweet here, with no words and comments restricted. Moving on. SEC finds John McAfee's ICO partner issues a lifetime ban. So anyone who was around 2017-28 bull and bear run, John McAfee was just a permanent fixture in that. It's every day, always headlines, mostly on the drama side. He passed away a couple years ago, but he did have an ICO partner who I guess was kind of doing the negotiating with him with the ICOs. Jimmy Gale Watson is his name. They fined him $300,000, banned him for life from issuing tokens and that sort of stuff. He can still trade crypto on his own behalf, but this puts an end to all the John McAfee related stuff, it appears. Moving on, Adam Neumann, so he's the founder of WeWork. So he, about a month ago, I said he was launching his big carbon credit crypto project, FlowCarbon, with the utility token, the Goddess Nature token. They've temporarily shelved that, but it just looks like it was bad timing. So they raised part of their capital, $70 million total. That's pretty big, a fully U.S. project. It's always going to attract some attention. About half of that, around $35 million, was raised from Andreessen Horowitz. The other half was raised in a private sale. The private sale was supposed to be redeemed, the token was supposed to be initiated late June. So that was the worst possible time. That was, what, about 3 weeks ago or so? That was just bad market conditions. And the reason they have given for shelving their project is bad market condition. That's what Adam Neumann and the Andreessen Horowitz team has said, which if it was right now, it'd be like, well, I'd say change your mind. But the private sale was supposed to be redeemed 3 weeks ago. So, I think this is just nothing more than just bad timing that the project was supposed to come out. Token was supposed to be initiated late June. If it had been late July, that would have been perfect timing. So they can still change their mind and go through with this. But I don't think that this is anything shady going on here. This is just bad timing. Because the private sale, that's the stuff that ties in with the roadmap. You can't really push that off, since that's kind of the more everyday investors, even though it's not a public sale. It's a private sale. It's not the VCs. It's just a lot of just different investors you're dealing with, so you can't keep pushing them off. So I think they just indefinitely did away with the private sale to not have to deal with them. And then if they do want to re-engage the project later, then it's easier to do that with just Andreessen Horowitz. I don't know. We'll see. That's it for today. Don't forget to follow me on Twitter @BenCryptoShow. Hope you enjoyed today's episode. Hit the like and subscribe button, especially the subscribe button. Don't forget, we'll see everyone tomorrow. Until then, this has been. Later.